I'd like to thank Open Arms for having me here, and for Sean and John Mellis for their hospitality. And so the message today is all have worth. And to me, I think that means that we all have worth enough that despite where we've been taken to by our circumstances or by those in our lives, that we have the power to take where we are and bring ourselves to where we need to be, wherever that may be, or obviously wherever God has in store for us. So, basically, some of my earliest childhood memories were actually sitting at the kitchen table, family of 6 kids. We had both my mom and dad there. Up until about one day, when I noticed there was an empty spot at the table. That was my father. So I guess, they were having their differences, what I've learned over the years is, kind of how to thrive despite that fact that he wasn't in our lives. So my mom was kind of raising 6 of us on her own for a while. But, I later learned that it had nothing to do with him not wanting to be there. There goes that. But, that's actually something I kind of dealt with for a long time. But, all right, so life went on. I grew up, I'm not going to be able to see it. That's okay. It actually might work in my benefit. All right, so I grew up, met a girl, created a little family of my own. So, that went along as it should, as God intended it. And then, this will help. So about 6 years ago, I discovered I was adopted. Well, it turned out the mother who raised me the whole time and the father I was missing the whole time weren't actually my blood relatives after all. So, that happened. And then, I learned some of the circumstances behind my adoption, why it happened, which came about, to make a long story short, in the adoption community, we use some terminologies as, biological parents or birth parents. So a little bit of their background, I guess specifically at the time of when I was created, they were drug addicts. I was born with something in my system. I can't remember what it was. I think it was methadone because, I think that's something they use because they're doing heroin and they're trying to get off it. So, I learned that. I learned that my biological mother, I guess, just as a way to survive, she was, basically, so you could only imagine, her life is kind of rough from what I hear. Also, she had 8 kids, and we were all given up for adoption. So, pretty rough circumstances and all that stuff. She doesn't need one of hers pulling off the stage right now, does she? No. No, but yeah. So, make a long story short, I found both of my biological parents. Biological mom, she passed before I found her, which is very unfortunate. So I would like to, told her a few words, let her know I'm doing okay. Relationship with my biological father has been great. He actually has an adopted son himself, and he has his own little family now. The 7 siblings that were also relinquished for adoption, through a domino effect, a chain of events, I found them all. I was in touch with the ones that are still alive and aren't. Well, the ones that are still alive, a couple of them have passed from sort of like medical type stuff, like diabetes related stuff, along with some life circumstances. So I feel it's very important that I know my medical history now, because I have kids of my own. So, and I think that's also a big message I want to get across to a lot of people that are not familiar with the separation from one's origins. It's good to know where we come from. So I'm thankful for that. It's brought me, this whole journey has brought me to places I never thought I'd be here. Right now at this moment. This has been through people I've connected with in the community, which has been a blessing. There's so many factors to my story that are pretty miraculous. I have a full-blooded biological brother who I haven't met yet. He lives in Las Vegas, and he's gone through some troubles, which I think started early. And actually, I believe that there are things that I believe his path could have been my path if I would have chosen certain things. But it's just, but he actually has 3 biological kids that he gave up for adoption. And yeah. So I connected with 2 of them through pretty good chain of events. So they're part of our lives. So I believe the expression is bridge the gap there. I think someone had said that one time. And so we bridge the gap, whereas now these children will always know where they came from, which is pretty cool. So you know what, I think I'm going to go into, if you can please start, I have some pictures to share. I think with those I'll be able to kind of just go through a few facts of these pictures. Oh, it's great to be here.
And we are glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. Simon says, no, I'm not going to do that. I was tempted though. Yeah, so that's my biological mom. I love that picture of her because she's smiling and happy. All right, so here, you can tell which one I am. And that's what a couple of my brothers and one of my sisters and my mom, people always ask, how can you not know you're adopted? I look different, but they never told me, so how could I know? So there's that. Yep, that's me and a couple of my brothers right there, always goofing around, having fun. Yep, all right, so that's my biological mom in the middle, and that's all of her 8 children. So, basically, he had passed before I found him, so did he. There's a couple of sisters, and then there's another brother, and that's my full-blood biological brother at the bottom. They say I look most like him. So, yeah, so they all have names and faces now, with our blood family, which I'm thankful for. So yeah, that's my biological father, my kids, and his adopted son. His picture is probably, about 6 years ago when I first found him. So that's pretty cool. Yep, those are my grandparents. Imagine they're still alive. Yeah, so that's on my maternal side. You know, he's a World War II vet. You know, they live in Puerto Rico. They go back and forth to New York, and then, yep, that's the missus, and then it's one of my kids, and then, you know, a bunch of some uncles, and, you know, and one of the sisters and her kid that I met. When I went to that house, this is about 4 months after I discovered I was adopted, there was about 35 people there. 35 people there. All, you know, saying hello. So that was cool. Oh yeah, this is a pretty big moment where I got, all right, so that's one of my brothers I grew up with, and then one of my sisters is there. So he had a barbecue at his house a couple years ago, and I invited some of my biological family to stop by. So I think that's like the ultimate thing we could do is kind of connect them. Yep. That was just like 2 weeks ago. Sorry. My wife and I were married for 15 years. I'm still not sure exactly why, but we got divorced. But we're back together, so that's a good thing. You know, because I think I've always tried to do everything in my power to avoid I hate to use the term broken family. I mean, but you know, so we got divorced, but you know, she called me back 3 weeks after the divorce saying she wanted to try again, something back at home. So that's how God works. You know. Oh, that's my grandma. That's my my grandma that I grew up with. She's 95 years old. We had my niece's sweet 16 2 weeks ago, and she was there. I always do something with her every time I see her, so that's fun. Yeah, and, all right, so as I was going through my journey, thank you. As I went through my journey, as a way to kind of cope with it, I started this little chocolate thing where I was making chocolates, right? It was just in my home. I would stay up till like 3 or 4 in the morning making chocolates. And just, you know, it's funny, I got these chocolates in a couple of these little stores close by, right? And basically, I wasn't making any money from it, but it was fun. I got some good pictures out of it and stuff. So there's always ways, I believe, to cope with things, you know, so that was a way. I don't do it anymore, but I'm going to probably start it again. Oh, that's my biological father with my kids. He has a moving company, and he does moving jobs up and down the East Coast. So he's constantly, like, he'll stop by every once in a while. It's pretty cool, yeah, because a lot of times, you know, it's hard to connect like that, but yeah, I've seen him a lot in the last 6 years. So, yep, that's my niece and nephew from my full-blooded brother, and, you know, my kids and one of their sisters. They actually have a big family themselves. I think there's like 10 of them in their family, their adopted family. So, and I'm close with them and their parents. So, yeah. Yep, that's actually, that's them again, and their parents, Scott and Brady, and that's my brother, one of my brothers I grew up with. He owns a little restaurant out in South Jersey, and, you know, we stop by there. It's, you know, bridging, you know, connecting people. It's pretty cool. Yep, that's one of my biological sisters right there. She was visiting from Florida, as the thing says. Yeah, she was in D.C., so that was pretty cool. All right, these are my grandparents. On my paternal side, on my father's side, they're Holocaust survivors. So, you know, this is many, many years ago. You know, that's the Hungarian side. You know, my biological mother was Puerto Rican. They were Hungarian. So, I have a lot of great pictures like that, older pictures like that, which I cherish. Yeah, see, that's me and my brothers and my mom. I'm just a goofball. I think I was probably making fun of her right there. Making fun of how she's standing, you know? And then we're getting a kick out of it, so. Yeah. Oh, so this is another picture of my, that's my paternal grandma right there, one of her brothers and a couple other siblings, and I guess those would be my great-grandparents. So I think all of them perished in the Holocaust except for my grandma, one of her sisters, and one of her brothers. So, yeah. Yep, that's my grandfather again, and one of my uncles right there. Actually, my biological mom has like, I think like 12 or 13 siblings. It's a big family on that side. Yeah, so mom, when I graduated high school, it almost didn't happen. I was definitely, I wasn't really, I don't think I was a troublemaker or anything, but I just didn't care about school. So she always pushed me. I'll never forget one thing she said. One time, after I got into a little bit of trouble doing something, she said, all I want is for you to be a productive member of society. So I took that, and I said, every time I was at a party, every time they offered drugs, I said no. Like, I mean, that's just that one thing she said did that for me. So that's why I'm halfway decent now. We're all great. But so yep, that was a funeral. One of my uncles had passed away on my mother's side, and I got to meet like about 50 new people there. Just a bunch of first cousins, a couple more uncles. It's a really big family on that side. So, yep, that's me and my brothers and my sister. I grew up Italian. You can tell, right? like the Godfather kind of thing going on. So I grew up with an Italian Jewish family, and it turns out I'm like half Puerto Rican, half Hungarian Jew, basically. So I've kind of learned about that also, about racial divides in that aspect, because me myself, I didn't even know what I was, but it doesn't matter. It's we're all humans, Yep, me and my little sister's right there. That was cool. Many years ago. Yep, so that's me, my brothers, and that would be my great grandfather on my adopted mom's side. Yep, it's me and the missus, like going first. Yep, it's funny because I actually I hopped on a bus for like $60 in my pocket, 2 pairs of pants, a high school diploma, and a toothbrush. I married her. I'm kind of laughing and crying at the same time. Because I was just going to local coffee shops, and got a little job right there when I moved to Maryland. That was a good little start. Yep, that was just me being a goofball. That was like a bar mitzvah, just kind of when they put the chair up. What you guys familiar with that? And I was always like just whatever, was jolly. Yeah, so yep, those are all the pictures I have. So yeah, don't need to fall. Yeah, I guess can we start that song? Yeah. So actually, I want to. Yep, thank you all again. I'm not going to lie, I kept thinking about what I was going to say. I didn't know exactly what I was going to say. Then I was sitting there, I thought about some things. I just roll with it, right? Isn't that what life is itself, though? We just kind of roll, So yeah, thank you all for being here. I'd like to definitely thank the people that have visited me, that have connected with the community, and that have traveled from different parts of Missouri to be here. Would you guys join me up on stage? All the people that kind of came here to visit. This is the